Good afternoon and welcome to WHMB TV 40 Sports High School Basketball Game of the Week. This week, the Anderson Indians take on the Newcastle Trojans at Newcastle. And now, here are your hosts, Jim Kasberg and Craig Wallen.
Welcome to the Newcastle Anderson High School Game of the Week on TV 40. I'm Craig Wallen along with Jim Kasberg of the Hoop Scoop. And Jim, a terrific game ahead of us here tonight, and we're looking at a couple of teams who have seen each other quite a few times.
Well, Craig, here we are in the world's largest high school field house, and I know I feel small here. And yes, we've got another great North Central Conference game tonight like the one that we had 2 weeks ago with Anderson and Kokomo.
Now, we have seen Anderson already, as you mentioned. We have yet to see Newcastle. Let's first look at Anderson. Who can we expect from to see some big play from tonight?
Well, lately, Craig, really Anderson's relied on the strength of their inside game. But I really think in order for the Indians to be successful, they've got to get good play out of their guards. And that means number 25, Tyrone Kelly, the excellent point guard for Norm Held, and number 33, Terry Fuller, one of the leading scorers in the state with 26 points a game.
A bit on the short side, but you told me before that these guys can do an adequate job inside, and they really rely on their outside game.
Well, they really are a good shooting team, but of late, they've struggled. The last 4 games, Anderson has failed to hit 40% from the field, yet they've won all 4 games, and that's because they've been very tough inside. Although they're small, they are real strong jumpers with good legs, and they're able to out-rebound most folks.
Both teams with very similar records, and Newcastle under Sam Alford always going to put a pretty good team on the floor. Who are we going to look from tonight?
Well, I really think that there's a lot of balance for Sam Alford this year. But really, if there's 2 guys that could shine, I think number 1, you'd look inside to the big kid, Barry Huckabee, a 6'7" junior. And Craig, he could be one of the top 20 juniors in the state of Indiana right now. And of course, the guard play is always important. And this year, as always, Sam Alford has an excellent guard. And we'll have to look tonight to number 31 of the Newcastle Trojans. That's Daryl Guffey, averaging 16-9 a game. I'm looking here, Craig, because Daryl is now the number 15 scorer on the all-time list for Newcastle.
It's going to be a good game. It's certainly loud enough, Jim. I hope we can hear each other.
I hope so, too.
All right, coming up, it's Newcastle and Anderson, the high school game of the week on TV 40. Stay with us.
And it all begins, and I think even in Indiana, I think everything takes back seat to high school basketball, and I think that's why the feeder systems into schools like Indiana and Purdue and Notre Dame and Ball State, Evansville, Indiana State, all the schools and colleges and universities, they get a lot of their good players from the high school ranks here right in our own state of Indiana, so this is where it all begins.
Now, you've been in the NBA, as I said, for a couple of years. What does the NBA hold for Steve Alford, and how are you enjoying yourself now?
Well, this is my 3rd year, and I'm just trying to fill my situation out, fill my roll out, and see what's going to be best for me, what team's going to be best for me, and what system's going to be best for me. And right now I'm having a hard time finding that right now, and I think I just got to be patient and see what happens.
Now, of course, this is All-Star Weekend, and there's a couple of former Indiana high school products involved in the festivities. Larry Bird in the three-point shootout and Sean Kemp in the slam dunk contest. How are these 2 former stars faring, in your opinion? You've had a chance to see them play, obviously.
Well, there's a big difference in Sean Kemp and Larry Bird. I think Larry Bird's the ultimate. He's the pinnacle of success. He's been there. He's done everything there is to do with basketball. And Sean's a bright new kid coming into the league. He's got an awful lot of athletic ability, and he's going to have to learn and mature. He obviously skipped college, so he's very young and immature, and he's got to grow up a lot. But he'll grow up a lot and grow up in a hurry in the NBA, and he ought to be a very good player in the NBA.
You're also familiar, Steve, with a youngster by the name of Damon Bailey, a senior at Bedford North Lawrence. He'll play at Indiana University next year. What do you foresee for Damon Bailey next year, and what can he expect from Coach Knight in terms of motivation?
Nothing but great things, I hope. I think he's an outstanding player. I haven't had a chance to see him that often, but everything that I've heard and have seen on television, he's an exceptional talent. And I think he's an individual that, since the 7th grade, with all the media coverage and recognition that he's had, he's handled himself very, very well. And I think he's going to become the 2nd-time all-time leading scorer in high school after tonight. And that's some kind of feat when you close in on 3,000 points in a high school career. So I hope good things happen to Damon Bailey at Indiana.
Well, we'd certainly like to thank you, Steve Alford, being our guest in the pregame here at Newcastle. Best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Steve Alford, everybody, a former Newcastle great, coming back home to watch his dad's team play tonight. We'll be back with the opening tip-off after this timeout.
And Jim, as we mentioned in the pregame show, lineups a little bit on the short side for Anderson.
That's exactly right, Craig. And here we've got the lineups on the screen now. At guard, one guard will be Sean Perry, number 13, 6-foot junior. At the other guard for the Anderson Indians will be Tyrone Kelly. He'll wear number 25. He's a 5-foot 9-inch senior. At forward, at one forward position, will be Terry Fuller, a 6-foot guard, a senior, averaging 26 points a game. Terry, the leading scorer for the Anderson Indians. At the other forward, Vince Tatum, number 43, a 6-foot 3-inch senior. And in the middle will be Jamie Horton, wearing number 35, and he is a 6-foot senior. And for the Newcastle Trojans, at the guard spots, we're going to have Tim Haynes, number 23, and Daryl Guffey, number 31. At the forward positions will be Shane Riggs, number 35, and Barry Huckabee, the 6-foot 7-inch junior, wearing number 43. And in the middle will be big Chris Walls, 6'6", 205, number 41.
All right, Newcastle in the green and white, Anderson in the red and green, and we're underway. The world's largest high school field house. How about that? Jump shot, no good to open up the ball game. Rebound comes down to Perry. Here comes Anderson. Inside, Horton underneath, no good. Rebound, outlets to Newcastle. Here they come. Guffey has it batted away. And on the recover, here comes Anderson. No call on the walk. There's the three-point shot, up and good. Basket good by Terry Fuller, the 6-foot guard.
Boy, Craig, Terry didn't waste any time unloading that one from three-point range, and that's something that he had a little trouble doing in Kokomo a couple weeks ago when we had the Wildcats and the Indians from Kokomo.
There's Huckabee, and a nice jump shot for two. Barry Huckabee, the only underclassman starting tonight for Newcastle. Kelly with the ball. Horton outlets. The jump shot off the glass and good. Nice little shot inside. Close up by Terry Fuller. He's got two more.
Well, they showed us two different moves there, Craig. He fired from way outside and that time moved in quickly for the nice little bank shot. And the pace is going to be quick if the first minute and a half is any indication.
Haynes dishes off underneath. The foul, a block call underneath, and I believe, let's double check. It may have been Horton inside. Now Newcastle coming in, as we mentioned, 12-5 in the North Central Conference. They are 3-2. Anderson, meanwhile, the Indians, 13-4 overall, 4-1 here in the NCC, and neither team presently ranked in the top teams of the state.
Here's Haynes.
Boy, look at the way Anderson crashes those boards. As you mentioned in our pregame show, they are outmanned as far as size under the bucket is concerned, but they can get up there. Kelly demonstrating that on that defensive rebound.
Well, I don't know if Norm Held will find himself as outclassed underneath in terms of height, more so than tonight. This Newcastle team does boast very, very good size, Craig.
There's Kelly over to Perry. Perry, Horton, the shot, good. Make that Vince Tatum. Tatum, the 6'3" senior forward.
Well, Anderson showing a little pressure here early in the game. It's token pressure, as you can see Kelly hounding Haynes there out front. And I'm sure Norm Held, before the night is over, Craig, will probably tighten the vise on that full court pressure and try to force a few Newcastle turnovers. Very quick hands on this Anderson team.
Anderson up by 5 points early. Just underway from Newcastle. There's the jump shot on the side, up and good. Nice move by Shane Riggs. Comes in scoring on the average 11.4 points per game. Nice move by Riggs. Doing it on both ends. Here he comes. 3-on-2 break. There's Guffey, pulls up and makes it from 10.
Now that's what Daryl Guffey can do so well for you, Craig, is you can see he's got excellent foot speed himself.
Absolutely.
And the Newcastle Trojans may not be as quick as a team overall, but I'll tell you what, Guffey can go head-to-head with any of these Indians.
Horton, a nice turnaround in the paint for two. Jamie Horton planted himself beneath the basket, got that nice little dish off, and 2 points.
Norm Held been getting excellent play on the inside out of Horton and Vince Tatum in the last 4 games. And even though his guards have struggled a little bit from the perimeter, particularly Terry Fuller, the inside people, small as they might be, Craig, have come through.
Anderson in that man-to-man, and I believe Fuller will be called for the foul.
Sam Alford wasn't happy with that particular sequence there as he is yelling at his Newcastle Trojans to move their feet. And Sam, of course, a veteran coach. And Greg, you know, this isn't the best of situations for Sam as we see Guffey unload again on the double pump from the baseline, and nothing but net there on that shot for Darrell. That gives pulls the Newcastle Trojans to within 1, and they've got it back. Huckabee comes down with the board on the Anderson miss.
Newcastle with a chance now to go out on top, trailing by a score of 9-8. Here comes Guffey, again picked up by Kelly. Jumps it inside, batted away. Here come the Indians. On the drive, basket up and good.
Terry Fuller, and boy, Craig, he's off to just a great start. That puts the Indians up by 3 points. And I was going to mention a moment ago, but the Indians didn't give me time to get it in. Coach Norm Held, in 14 years of coaching, has never lost on Newcastle's home court. He's undefeated here, 7-0.
Jump shot up and good. Huckabee from 10 feet.
Craig, I really think Huckabee is one of the better juniors in the state of Indiana. He shows great mobility for a big 6'7" kid.
Jump shot, long range, no good. Rebound comes down to Newcastle. Fuller on the miss that time, and he has not missed much here early on.
Well, they've got great size underneath with Huckabee at 6'7", Walls at 6'6", Riggs at 6'3.5", and it could be a situation where Anderson has one shot and then a Newcastle rebound, so Anderson had better hope that they're on target tonight.
Riggs fouled on his way to the hoop, and he'll step to the line for a couple. Shane Riggs, 11.4 average on the season. You were alluding briefly, Jim, to the series, Anderson and Newcastle. 38-76, Newcastle's record against Anderson through the years. They have not had a lot of success.
Well, right here you get a good indication of Shane Riggs as he goes full tilt to the basket, just bowls his way inside. And I think that's good strategy because Anderson is extremely short, Craig, and they're going to probably be a little foul prone against this taller Newcastle team.
Now the Trojans with that 1-point lead. Down to 3.5 minutes remaining in the first period of play. Fuller inside, now back outside, 3-point range, off the rim.
Well, he's missed a couple. He started off hitting his first 3 shots, Craig, and Terry's missed the last 2, and Newcastle is out in front 12-11 as a result.
Guffey misses. Huckabee for 2.
Boy, what's so sweet about that, Craig, all in one motion. Huckabee didn't have to grab it, come down, think about it, put back up. No, he just grabbed the ball with 2 hands, and before he came down, put it right back up, grabs a nice rebound here on the defensive end, and here comes Newcastle.
Huckabee, the junior, has the Trojans moving here. Anderson with a rebound.
Vince Tatum says, enough of that. I'm going to grab a rebound of my own.
Perry, nice little move. Horton, no good. The tip, no good. In, finally.
I think they'll give that to Tatum. Nice work on the boards that time. Craig, I think that the Indians saw that they were going to have to adjust and really get tough to help offset that size differentiation.
Oh, my. Guffey in the paint for 2. This guy can do it from all parts of the court. Darrell Guffey.
Well, we mentioned in the pregame, number 15 now on the all-time list as that ball is flat thrown away by Tyrone Kelly. That's a mistake you won't see TK make too often, Craig. Normally a very reliable, very heady floor general.
There's Huckabee inbounding backcourt. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go. In that JV game before the varsity contest, it was Newcastle being defeated by a score of 53-37. The ball out of bounds. It belongs to Anderson.
Boy, oh boy, that was very similar to the turnover we just saw a moment ago by Tyrone Kelly as Guffey just threw it where the player wasn't. And obviously that's not the way to set up your offense. There's Fuller up in the air and missing badly on that J.
Ball loose on the floor, picked up by Haynes. Here come the Trojans. Haynes all the way down, and he is fouled on his way to the hoop. And Tim Haynes, who's averaging just shy of 10 points per game, will step to the line and shoot 2. North Central Conference action on TV 40. This is the toughest conference in all of Indiana. 23 state championships have developed out of the conference play through the years. 17 Mr. Basketball winners. And that's quite a record, Jim.
Yeah, it's one of the best conferences in America, Craig, let alone the state of Indiana. But let's not let our friends in the Olympic Conference or down in Marion County or up in the Gary Lake County area here, you say that, Craig Wallen, they think that their conference might be the toughest one in the state. Well, I think year in and year out, the North Central Conference does have the numbers to prove out your statement.
Haynes hits 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. Newcastle up by 4 points. About a minute and a half to go. Perry, three-point range, rims it. Rebound to Huckabee.
He's all over the boards.
Here they come. Haynes, left wing, now in the paint. Nice blindside pass, but batted away.
Oh, Sam Alford is livid over that. Craig, I'll tell you something. As the foul is going to be called on Newcastle, there's going to be a blocking foul, I think, called on Huckabee. We'll wait and get the official word here in a moment. Haynes is Daryl Guffey is most effective, Craig, when he remains under control. And sometimes he has a tendency to over-penetrate, to try to make too spectacular of a pass. And I think it's when he gets a little too creative when Newcastle gets in trouble.
Haynes, one of the returning starters from last year's Trojan team, as are Huckabee, Riggs, and Guffey. 17-15. And here comes Newcastle with the ball in the lead down court. With the ball is Riggs. Pops from 10. Shane Riggs.
Nothing fancy. He just gets the job done. Offensive foul is going to be called on Tyrone Kelly, Craig, and that doesn't fare well for the Anderson Indians. I really think that the Indians go as Tyrone Kelly goes. Sure, Terry Fuller is the catalyst. He's the big gun, the guy that can get you 26, 30 points a game. But Tyrone Kelly sets the offense up, and he's had a little trouble here in the first quarter. He's going to have to adjust.
Haynes into Guffey and batted away. The foul will be called on number 13. That's Sean Perry.
They got Kelly. They got TK on that one, Craig, and Norm Hill's up off the bench. He's a little concerned, as well he might be. We're going to get a substitution right now, and it's going to be number 24. We've seen him a couple weeks ago. Maurice Fuller, the younger brother of Terry Fuller, and his nickname, Craig, is Kojak. Kojak Fuller, number 24.
I noticed that on his jacket.
Tremendous freshman, Craig. I really think he's one of the top 10 freshmen in the state of Indiana, and he may be higher than that.
Guffey with the first free throw. Daryl Guffey, one of those returning starters from last year's team, also one of the tri-captains, along with Shane Riggs and Tim Haynes. Daryl Guffey, all-conference last year, hits on both free throws. And now with under a minute to go, 21-15 the score. Trojans up by 5.
Well, Craig, number 53 for Anderson also came in the game a moment ago, and that is Troy King, and he replaced Vince Tatum inside. So Vince is going to get a little breather, and Mr. King will see if he can hold down the fort. Big kid, he's 5'11", but looks like he goes about 200 pounds. We got 30 seconds to go, Craig, in this first quarter.
Anderson will go for that last basket. Perry standing right out front of our area here on the floor at Newcastle's Fieldhouse. Now down to 19 seconds. Trojans and the Indians. Now Fuller playing some catch outside with his brother. Fuller to Fuller, the jump shot up, no good. Rebound, no good. Now with 3 seconds, 2. Guffey the shot, and no. We finished one period. 21-15 the score. Anderson down by 6 on the LaCie Broadcasting Network and Channel 40.
Right. The Village Christian Park, located in beautiful Zionsville, offering retirement living in a Christian atmosphere. Imagine independent living with the security of having nurses available 24 hours per day, offering private patios, all-electric kitchen, washer-dryer hookup, cable TV, and much more. The Village Christian Park, located at 675 South Ford Road, Zionsville. For more information, call 873-5205.
Welcome back to the world's largest high school field house, Chrysler Arena. 15 for the Indians. Newcastle with those 21 points in the first quarter.
Now, Craig, keep an eye inside on number 35, Jamie Horton, and number 43, Barry Huckabee, as Huckabee just smacks Terry Fuller from behind. They were talking at the end of the first quarter, and I mean, they were giving each other an earful. And I noticed as they came and broke huddle here in the second quarter, it continued. So actually some bad blood brewing down here early in the contest. They're still talking at the free throw line now, so I hope cooler heads prevail here. We'll have to watch.
Fuller cans the first free throw. Terry Fuller, 6-foot guard. He's a junior.
Yeah, we'll take a look here as Fuller goes inside, and Huckabee had no chance of stopping Terry, and he reached over and tried to block his shot. Got caught with a slap.
A few more substitutions. And in comes Kyle Fox, our first look at Fox, who, from all indications, is one of the shorter guys on the floor right now, but according to Sam Alford, he's the fastest guy on the team. He inbounds, and here come the Trojans with some full court pressure from Anderson.
Fast he is indeed, and boy, I'll tell you, when you combine him with Darryl Guffey, you've got some real speed merchants in the backcourt.
Haynes, the three-pointer, Tim Haynes. And a 24-17 lead to the Trojans. Outside, Fuller pops, no good. Rebound loose. And it's number 35 with that ball on the floor.
Yeah, look at Riggs take it down the court at 6'4", 220.
Riggs can go either forward or guard. Right now under the hoop.
Actually, he's closer to about 185, I guess, Craig, but
Guffey pops. He had pressure from Fuller, but right over his head. And two more. Nice touch, huh?
Well, Anderson's down by 9, and they cannot afford to get much further behind. And here comes Norm Held, and he is screaming at the official at midcourt. He's unhappy, obviously, and trying to fire his Indians up.
There he is. Norm Held, who has done a good job through the years at Anderson. Not happy at all with what he's seen out there with 6:56 remaining in the half, 26-17 to score. Here's a reminder for you, for the latest information on important health issues, be sure to watch Saturday Evening Post with Dr. Corey Servas every Saturday morning at 11:30 on TV 40. Craig Wallen, Jim Kasberg of the Hoop Scoop, and Jim, every week, my pleasure to be working alongside you. I know you watch a lot of high school basketball here in the state of Indiana, scouting, as it were, many of the top prospects, and we're seeing a few here tonight. Some good-looking ball players.
I think so. You're talking about seniors. You've got Terry Fuller, certainly ranking high on the senior list in the state of Indiana, probably a top 20 player. You've got Barry Huckabee, one of the top 20 juniors in the state in all likelihood. Kojak Fuller with the ball, number 24. I think he's one of the top 10 freshmen, Craig. So, yeah, we're seeing a lot of talent out here. There's Terry Fuller demonstrating his specialty from deep in the corner. That three-pointer brings the Anderson Indians back to within 6, and they really needed that one. And if you'll remember, Craig, they were playing best when Terry Fuller was hitting.
Fox with the ball now. He stands just 5'7", weighs 141. Very, very quick. There's the move inside. Riggs pops from the paint. In, out, rebound. Good. Nice shot inside by Guffey.
What's he doing in there, Craig?
He looked like he belonged, didn't he?
Well, he did that time. We're going to have a substitution for Anderson as Tyrone Kelly's going to come back into the ball game. Norm Held not happy at all.
Indians trailing by 8 points.
Oh, there's Kojak again.
Fuller in and out. Boy, they've rimmed a lot tonight, haven't they?
Well, then they don't count.
The lid is not removed. It has not been removed from the top of that basket. Nice move! Hey, what a shot by Haynes.
Spin move in the left hand. Like we said in the beginning, Craig, in the pregame, this is a team that has a lot of weapons. Newcastle was ranked in the top 5 of the state early in the season. I think they're still a top 20 team.
A nice touch by Perry. Sean Perry pops, and it's a 7-point ball game.
Sean can hit that outside jump shot. You can't leave him alone.
Fox to Haynes. Riggs with the ball. Again, man-to-man pressure from Anderson. Tipped away. Nice job. Here comes Fuller. He began it and misses. Fuller batted the ball away, got the return, and missed.
You don't get extra points for a degree of difficulty, Craig, and I think that Terry put a little bit too much mustard on that move as Newcastle, talking about difficult, trying to make the running one-handed pass on the pass break. That's not going to work real often, so both teams turning the ball over unnecessarily.
5 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the first half. Very special halftime programming for you, so stay with us. The Channel 40 Game of the Week.
Nice
Ball
save.
loose, and Haynes has the loose ball.
Beautiful play by Fox that time as he showed his quickness getting up in the air. Here's Riggs.
Riggs loose, the shot no good. Tipped away
Fox.
nicely.
Tyrone Kelly.
Hey, a nice job inside by Walls. He made that play happen. Could not bring the rebound down. Instead, tipped it out to the free man, and we've got a situation that'll send the Trojans to the line to shoot a couple.
Well, that's a critical call. 3 fouls on Tyrone Kelly now, and that hurts, Craig. That's your floor general. You can't afford to lose him.
Kyle Fox, a junior, cans the first one.
You know, Craig, I really think that both of these squads deserve to be ranked in the state's top 20. Anderson lost 2 of their 4 games right off the bat at the beginning of the season without Terry Fuller, as the second free throw is also hit. And since that time, obviously, they've gone 13-2. I think they deserve to be ranked.
Baseline, the jump shot misses off the mark. Fuller. Newcastle, traveling called.
Along that same vein, Craig, I honestly think Newcastle's a top 20 team. You know, these squads play one of the toughest in one of the toughest conferences in the United States, and plus the fact that Newcastle played in the Hall of Fame Classic on top of everything else. Here's Fuller for 3.
Oh my, what a quick release.
Boy,
he got that thing up in a hurry, didn't he?
Beautiful form, Craig. Excellent form, and you know, he really does have that college look to his jump shot. That's a big-time J.
Haynes could have been called for the travel. No whistle. Fox back to Haynes. Three-pointer good.
Haynes is feeling it tonight, Craig, and he looked very comfortable on that jump shot. We saw him with a nice move earlier on the spin using the left hand off glass. Now he comes back and shows that he's got some versatility.
9-point lead to the Trojans. Kelly in the lane. Jump shot good. Nice running shot by Kelly.
What a great compliment he is to Terry Fuller. I really think Norm Hild's got the ideal backcourt. His front court, it's just so small. The kids work hard. They've been very effective. They're warriors. They just don't have that God-given height.
Guffey misses. A bit off balance.
Here comes Terry Fuller streaking down court.
Does not get the bounce. Loose, and the rebound comes down to the Trojans, but a whistle underneath. A foul, and stepping to the line for Anderson, big number 43, Vince Tatum. And he is 6'3", but looks a bit taller than that. Another timeout. And with 3:32 remaining in the first half, 35-28 the score. Trojans up by a couple. Actually, more than that, 7 points. Hey, make sure to plug into the Power Source. Power Source videos with host Tim Foley and Jay Carpenter of WXYR Radio. See great videos with music from DeGarmo and Key, Amy Grant, Russ Taff, and BB and CC Winans, along with a few of your other favorite artists. Power Source videos, Saturday mornings at 11, right here on TV 40. Craig Wallen and Jim Kasberg, and there you see the coach of Anderson, Norm Held. The Indians coming in 13-4 overall, 4-1 in the North Central Conference. He has been a bit upset here in the first half. He trailed by 6 after one period and finds himself 7 points down here, as we mentioned, with about 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Boy, we've seen some great basketball. It never fails whenever we jump on the old TV screen with a high school game of the week. We see a doozy, and last week you had a pretty good one. We got another good one here this week, Jim.
No, we certainly do, Craig, and this one has so much significance. Of course, the North Central Conference Championship is very much up in the air at this point. The winner of this game, as we see a foul called on Newcastle, I think they're going to get Guffey perhaps this time. But at present, we really got a dogfight for the North Central Conference lead, with Kokomo being in front at 5-1 currently, but Anderson at 4-1 would move into a tie with the Wildcats with a victory tonight. Newcastle at 3-2 could pull within one game.
Horton in the paint for 2 points, and all of a sudden a 5-point ball game. Anderson trying to make that charge toward the end of the half. Here comes Haynes. He gets the baseline, but batted away, out of bounds. Horton last touched it. Horton arguing a bit with the official. He thought that possibly Newcastle touched it last.
Well, if the Trojans hang on and win this one, Craig, it sets up a dandy at Kokomo next week on the TV40 Game of the Week, as that will be possibly for the North Central Conference title.
Oh, look at the D. Fuller tips it away, recovered, though, by Fox. There's Fox free on the left wing.
Well, the guards are doing it for Newcastle, no question about it. Fox now contributes. Guffey has 12 points. Haynes has 9. And now Fox gets into the act.
There's Kelly shooting long range. Three-pointer is good.
Down to 4-point deficit now as Anderson's beginning once again to find the basket from outside. Terry Fuller's 3 of 6 from three-point land, and we just saw that Tyrone Kelly's capable of hitting it as well.
Nice shot, Riggs. Oh, he had the shot, but a nice job inside.
Gorham Hill got away with one there, Craig. I think that I really think he got hammered by Terry Fuller.
Well, neither official saw it that way. Chalk it up as a good defensive play. Here comes Haynes. Pressure, off balance, off the rim, gets his own rebound and brings it back out. Indeed, Guffey fakes a man into the air and in the boot.
Guffey loves to freelance, Craig, no question about it. Sometimes he has a difficult time drawing that fine line between over-penetration and doing the right thing as far as creativity. That time, I think he did it all right.
Tatum from outside, no.
Guffey on the bounce.
Fouled. Guffey fouled as he brought the ball down. And that will send it the other way. The foul charge to Horton.
So three-point shooting had gotten Anderson right back into the ball game as they're 4 for 4 in the second quarter, and we're able to narrow that deficit to 4 points. Back up to 6 now, Craig, with a good free throw shooter, Guffey, coming to the line.
Guffey leads the team in scoring. Free throw, though, is missed. Guffey, a rare miss, averaging 16.9 points per game. Now a minute 40 remaining in first half. 39-33 the score. Fuller, long range, had the rotation but missed. Rebound inside is good.
Yeah, that's the unheralded player on the Anderson team, number 53, Troy King. And Troy getting a nice basket, doing the things that he's supposed to do by being where he's supposed to be. Picks up that garbage rebound and puts it in the bucket.
Well, that time Newcastle stripped of the ball. And here comes Anderson. And they lose it. Here comes Guffey, an easy 2. There he goes.
Had an excellent half, Greg. Minute to go now in the half, and that moves the Newcastle Trojans back out by 6.
Darrell Guffey with 2 more points, and he is, Jim just mentioned, is having a great first half. Now 6-point ball game. Kelly pops and makes.
Well, what a great shot, Greg, as his body was floating to the left, and he had to judge that speed on his shot as he put the shot up softly and just kind of floated it into the basket.
Haynes, pressure from Horton. Fans wanted to foul, nothing called. Now Fox. And look how the Anderson defense is coming out to meet Fox. Haynes way out top. Now 20 seconds remaining first half. 4-point ball game. Newcastle with that lead after 21-15, leading throughout the second quarter. There goes Haynes underneath, loose for a moment. The shot walls, misses, gets his rebound. No! Loose on the floor, and
3 seconds.
Anderson with the ball.
It'll be a long one.
Just off the mark. Long range shot at the buzzer. Missed. 41-37. And we've completed one half of play. Craig Wallen, Jim Casper from the world's largest high school field house. We'll be back with our halftime programming in a moment on TV40 and the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
A taste of the taste of the country. Lee's Country Chicken is ready for you. Green beans with ham. Fresh salads, too. Buttermilk biscuits and country fried steak. Try Crispy Plus. Tastes great. Come on in or drive right through. Country good cooking. Low prices, too. There's only one place, and it's gotta be Lee's Famous Recipe. Taste of the country.
Teamwork has helped our communities grow. At Ameritrust, we're continuing this tradition with all the same people and even more banking services. Ameritrust, service you can bank on. The best banks are built on teamwork. And at Ameritrust, you've got the same team you've always counted on, but now with more new services. Ameritrust, service you can bank on.
Newcastle Fieldhouse, where at halftime, Newcastle leads Anderson by a score of 41-37 at center court. You see many of the seniors and their parents, cheerleaders, mascots being honored here at halftime, and some pretty good-looking faces there. You might see a few that you recognize. A lot of seniors spending their final year at Newcastle this year. Well, before the ball game tonight, Carolyn Selm of TV40 presented a plaque to George Calloway of TCI Cable in Newcastle for their 19 years of covering and carrying Channel 40 in Newcastle. And here's that presentation just before the ball game. Again at halftime, 41-37 the score. Newcastle led after one by a score of 21-15 and outscored Anderson 20-12 in that second period. And as we mentioned, lead at halftime 41-37. We'll be back with more of our halftime in a moment from TV40 and the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
Stop. Pay close attention to this first-time television offer not available in stores anywhere. It's the 16 country gospel favorites of the Chuckwagon Gang, a legendary name in American music.
I hear those lovely echoes from the burning world. How they thrill my, how they thrill my soul.
Also, hits like The Church in the Wildwood, Now the Day is Over, Amazing Grace, or Shall We Gather at the River?
Shall we gather at the river where bright angel feet have trod?
Don't be left out. Order now. Here's how.
For rush delivery, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-776-6400. This country gospel collection by the Chuckwagon Gang is a must. That's 1-800-776-6400. Or send $11.98 plus $3 shipping to Chuckwagon Gang, Box 50450, Indianapolis, Indiana.
We're at halftime, Newcastle Fieldhouse, Newcastle, Indiana. Craig Wall and Jim Kasberg. And Jim, pretty exciting first half play. 4-point lead belongs to Newcastle, and looks like they've been doing the job.
Well, they certainly have. I think the stats there, Craig, on the screen speak for themselves. You can see that Newcastle has outshot Anderson dramatically. They're over 50%. Anderson's under. 3-point advantage to Anderson. I think that's probably what kept them in the game, as we noted. Rebounds, there's a big one, as Newcastle was just hammering the smaller Anderson Indians on the board, particularly big Barry Huckabee and Shane Riggs. They really did a yeoman job on the boards.
Now the Trojans on the possession now will inbound here to begin play in the second half. As we mentioned, up by 4, 41-37. Channel 40 High School Game of the Week. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you tuning in. Haynes inside, the jump shot, Riggs misses. Rebound comes out, and it's out of bounds. It belongs to Anderson.
You got Troy King, who did not start the game, number 53, remaining in the contest for the Anderson Indians, as Fuller goes right to the bucket. A little short on that jump shot, that runner. Walls is going to pick up the foul, Craig, I believe number 41. We'll check here with the official, as Terry Fuller didn't waste any time going right to the bucket. Yes, that foul is on number 41. Chris Walls.
Officials have had some of their calls come into question here tonight already by Coach Norm Held of Anderson. He was very upset at the end of the first half.
He certainly was.
The shot inside, no good. Rebound comes down to Haynes. Here come the Trojans. Outlet pass, stolen away.
Sam Alford unhappy. He says use two hands if you're going to pass that ball like that. Tatum misses for the second time in a row.
Nice pass inside from Kelly. Here they come again. Horton fouled on his way up.
You know, Craig, he really kind of jumped in, and that's what Chris Walls is looking unhappy about. That's what Sam Alford is complaining about on the bench, as he really thought that Horton initiated the contact, but that call usually goes against the defense, and I think that Horton simply took advantage of the slow feet, relatively slow feet of Chris Walls.
Big guy Horton at the line, and makes in the first. Newcastle up by a few points. Horton's next shot, in and out. 3-point lead, 7 minutes to go in the third period. JV game saw Newcastle get defeated. They were beaten soundly, 53-37 the final. Anderson the winner in the game just before this one here. Haynes spins to the hoop, in the paint, dishes off, the shot no good. And back up with it, and missing on that way up is Chris Walls. And the ball batted out of his hands. It belongs to the Trojans.
Now, Chris is just having a devil of a time, Craig, as he ended the first half in a situation pretty much like that, where he was unable to get two shots from close in to fall, and that time the same thing happened.
Guffey misses off balance, a whistle, and the foul will be called, I believe, on Tyrone Kelly. It is the personal on Kelly. No,
they called that on Kelly. That's 4, Craig. Boy, I guess Norm Hill just feels that he can go with Kelly as long as he can stay out there without fouling out, and then he'll go to Kojak Fuller. Obviously held very confident in Kojak.
Riggs misses. Here comes Kelly. Alley-oop. Nice feed. Missed, though, and the rebound comes down to Anderson. King out front. Turnaround by Tatum in the paint. No. Kelly rebound. No good. Again, Horton for 2. Yes, this time. Anderson makes good after 3 or 4 missed shots.
Well, we noted, Craig, that's what they have done in the 4 previous outings, all victories for the Indians. And that's what they started doing tonight, but then Newcastle really took charge on the boards later on. Haynes moving inside. He's looked good tonight.
Haynes was trying to dish off to Guffey. He was guarded closely and instead took the shot himself. And now a 3-point lead. Kelly double team. Outlets. The shot, good. Terry Fuller. And we're tied at 43 with that 3-pointer.
Yeah, when he's on, the Indians are very difficult to beat, Craig. And Terry shot well for the most part tonight.
Oh, hey, Haynes lost the ball going up, but still had the presence of mind to bury it for 2. Nice job.
Only averaging 9.7 on the season, and Haynes tonight's looked like about a 18-point-per-game shooter.
Very confident on the floor. The 3-pointer missed. Fuller. Here comes Guffey.
That'll be a goaltend.
Absolutely.
Norm Hill not even questioning that, as the Indians have gotten a little bit out of control. They've used their athleticism unnecessarily a couple times here in the third quarter. I really think that alley-oop a couple of sequences ago from Tyrone Kelly was unnecessary. It looked pretty, Craig, but as we said, you don't get any extra points for degree of difficulty in this game. That's in gymnastics and diving. And that particular time, Terry Fuller went up, blocked a shot, I think, that was obviously going to be called a goaltend. Maurice Kojak Fuller, number 24, is into the game at the point guard position.
Off to Terry Fuller. Down the left side, the ball belongs now to the Trojans on the turnover. Here they come. Haynes will pop from 3-point range. No. Rebound up. No. The tip. No good. Huckabee. No. Rebound up and no good. The Trojans really battling under the boards, similar to the way Anderson did on the other end of the floor.
You know, Jamie Horton had just saw enough, and he went in and hammered somebody on the inside. And Horton's been hot all night. I don't think he likes getting out-rebounded, Craig, and he takes it personally, and he really slapped Guffey pretty good that time.
Darrell Guffey misses on the first of 2. He is a good one. 5'10 and a half, 150. A senior.
Well, he's an 84% free throw shooter, Craig, and we saw him miss early when I put the hex on him, and apparently that carried over to the next foul shot, but he hit the second of the two just a second ago, so maybe he's going to be back on a roll.
Fuller, nice feed inside to Horton. Boy, Fuller got himself up in the air and dished off nicely for 2 points. Trojans up by 3, 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go, third period of play. Channel 40 game of the week. Here comes Guffey, ball stripped away, another foul called on Anderson.
Kojak upset. The freshman thought he had a clean steal, and he'll have plenty of those in his career, Craig, but that one was called a foul.
Well, he looks like Kojak, at least on the side with that dew.
Well, Craig, the reason he got that nickname, his grandmother named him Kojak because he didn't have any hair until he was 3 years old. So, aptly enough, she came up with the nickname Kojak for number 24.
Fox in the ball game, and there's a nice reject. The shot by Riggs, no good. The ball is out of bounds.
Horton just absolutely rejected big Barry Huckabee, number 43, and we're going to take a look here at the attempted steal by Kojak Fuller. Not to be.
48-45. Anderson with a three-point shot here could tie it.
Norm Hill giving some instructions there to Terry Fuller. By the way, Craig, Grandma Fuller also gave Terry a nickname. It's called Archie because of the nice arch on his long rainbow jumpers. As he misses there without much arch on the inside, we're going to get a foul called on number 43, Vince Tatum, and the Indian coaching staff thinks that should have been called a walk.
Norm Held is on his way to the locker room. He is showing his disgust and shaking his head. No way was that a foul. Look at him.
Well, I'm sure Norm is contemplating. Do I want a technical now? Will it fire him up? Should I do it?
Oh, if you
no,
could only...
not right now. We might get too far behind. He's thinking about it, though, Craig. He wants to know, should I get that tee and fire my team up?
He has
happy Indian.
Those lips are tightly pressed together. He doesn't dare open the mouth or something bad's going to come out. There's a foul inside. This time, another foul against the Indians.
Should be Tatum again as Huckabee hit the deck. I didn't see exactly what happened. It's Horton, and he's John with Huckabee again at midcourt, and they've been doing that all day long, Craig, and I really think for the most part it's worked to Anderson's advantage because Huckabee, who started out extremely hot, just dominating the boards, has been relatively quiet since, and Norm Held's coming to midcourt.
Norm Held calls for the timeout, and he continues to go at it with the officials. Unbelievable action from Newcastle Fieldhouse. Weekdays from 3:30 to 5. Enjoy your favorite episodes of Lacey, Lassie, or Lacey, The Waltons, and the Wonderful World of Disney. Held's got me going, Jim.
Well, Craig, I thought you were going to say, welcome to the wonderful world of family entertainment. Just listen to Norm Held. I don't think that was family talk that he had for the official there in the huddle. As Norm is, doing what the coach is supposed to do, fire up his troops, getting behind his team, getting on the officials a little bit. Craig, from a philosophical standpoint, I really disagree with the way coaches are allowed to interfere with the game of basketball. In soccer, if that happens, you're out. You're history. You get the red card, and you don't play. You don't be on the sidelines anymore.
And there's what started the fight right there. As you see Haynes slipping. And time is back in.
To finish up, Craig, the officials in this game are brought up. They're trained to, take that abuse. And in some sports, it's just not tolerated. And I think maybe that for the good of everybody involved, maybe the coaches should be restrained and a method for controlling that sort of outburst should be initiated. And I'm not singling Norm Held out at all. I just think in general that should probably be the direction that the game goes.
All right, Huckabee makes both. 50-45, three-point shot, good. Long-range shot made good by Terry Fuller.
He's got the green light at all times, Craig, and obviously I think that helps his shooting confidence.
Haynes open for three. He buries it. Haynes from long range, and he's well over his 9.7 average.
He looks a little like his older brother Rodney Haynes, a former Indiana All-Star tonight, as Huckabee reaches his big mitts in and knocks the ball out of bounds nicely, using those long arms on his 6'7" frame.
Boy, Huckabee has really improved, hasn't he?
Well, I've seen him play a couple times this year, Craig, and there's that arch. There's Archie's patented rainbow jumper. Doesn't fall that time, but I think that's what Grandma had in mind when she found that nickname for.
There's
Terry
Fox,
Fuller.
and he misses. Rebound loose, batted away. Huckabee almost had it. We mentioned Huckabee. He gained 15 pounds over the summer. Shot no good. Fuller on the miss. Rebound to the Trojans. So whistle. Let's wait and see. Obviously called against the Trojans.
Sam Alford's not happy now. He really felt that Tatum swung an elbow out and initiated the contact there. And he may have been right. It's not from the angle the official saw the play, though. That was not what was apparent to him.
Almost out of bounds. Fuller with a long pass to the side. Just a little over 2 minutes to go, third period of play. Inside, no whistle. Shot no good. Huckabee falls over the back of Riggs.
We're going to call that on the new player in the lineup, number 55 for the Anderson Indians. That's Frank Morgan, a 6'4" senior.
And there again is Norm Held. He and Coach Sam Alford very successful with their respective programs. Sam Alford coming in this year with an overall record as a coach of 354 wins, 192 losses. And this year, Newcastle at 12-5 thus far. Anderson at 13-4. Huckabee, first shot is good.
Well, we'll take a look here on this replay as Terry Fuller goes to the basket. Probably could have been called for a charge there. Then up with the attempt goes Morgan. He missed and was eventually called for the foul. Both were converted for a 7-point lead, Craig, as Newcastle again is starting to pull away a little bit.
Fuller in the paint, bounces around. This time he gets the roll, it goes down. Well, in the first half, Anderson missed on a number of shots that just kind of rolled around and fell out. This time, though, they seem to be getting the bounce. The shot, no good. Tatum with a rebound. A minute 38 to go, 55-50. Newcastle up by 5. Fuller, top of the key, the jump shot to Terry. And a whistle along the baseline and a foul, I believe. Well, let's wait and see again.
Troy King, I think, getting the defender up in the air, and I think that was Riggs.
It is Riggs. It'll send the big guy, King, to the line to shoot a couple. And a substitution coming in is Josh Barber. He's the quarterback of the Newcastle football team. And our first look at Josh, he's a 5'11" senior, weighs 160 pounds.
Well, Sam's given some of his regulars a rest here. Smart coaching movement. Minute 29 to go in the quarter, Craig. He's going to give them a little breath here, a fresh air, and probably get them right back into the lineup in the fourth quarter. So Sam looking ahead, getting his troops ready for the stretch run.
And Guffey, who had a great first half, has been a little bit silent here in the second half. Currently on the Pines. There's the jump shot, up and good. Nice job by number 33, Fuller. That's Terry Fuller.
23 points now for Terry Fuller, Craig, as he got the pass from his brother Kojak and took it baseline.
Haynes to Fox. Again, Anderson in that tight man-for-man defense. There's the ball stolen away. Here comes Anderson, and he is walking.
Called him on a walk. Sam Alford relieved, Craig. I'm sure had that transition bucket been converted by the Anderson Indians, you would have seen Coach Sam Alford questioning himself on pulling a few of his regulars out here towards the end of the third quarter. That would have allowed Anderson to creep to within 1 point after having been down by 7 just moments ago. And we're under a minute.
Haynes looking inside, now takes it to the hole. Nice dish off. The basket is good. Huckabee for 2.
Beautiful play by Haynes, and Huckabee just absolutely took number 55, Morgan, to school that time. Once he collected the ball inside, Craig, he just took Frank Morgan to school and scored on the inside very easily. Nice move, a quick move by the 6'7" junior, who has been a little bit quiet since the first quarter. He sat on the bench a little bit in the second quarter and really needs to unwind for the stretch run here for Sam Alford's crew.
Huckabee with the free throw, converts on the three-point play. And now it's a 6-point lead. Trojans up 58-52. In the paint, Fuller, nice turnaround. Boy, he's got a nice touch both inside and out, doesn't he, Jim?
Well, he really does, Craig. And, you know, everybody missed on him at the beginning of the season. Terry Fuller was just not expected to be as great a player as he's turned out to be, and that's what happens sometimes at a perennially tough program like Anderson. There was a lot of good seniors last year for Norm Held who returned, and Terry really didn't get his chance till this year.
Four-corner offense. Here's Haynes, fakes a man into the air, takes it baseline, loses it, but evidently off the hands of Anderson. Now 6 seconds to go here in the third period. 58-54, 4-point lead to the Trojans, and they will inbound now. Huckabee will trigger in. Inside, Barber, ball batted away, and a foul is called. Underneath, the foul will be charged to Tyrone Kelly. I'll double-check that.
That was Kojak.
Kojak.
Norm Held there on the bench is pleading his case as Kojak. That's the second time that he's reached in for what he thought was a clean steal and got nailed by the officials. And, you know, a freshman will do that.
Barber, his first point of the game. Josh Barber, the quarterback of the football team. Very muscular. Next shot, up and good. Now a 6-point lead. 5 seconds to go. Here come the Indians, and is that a foul? It is. Fox will be charged with the foul, and that is not a real good one to commit.
No, those kind are really unforgivable, Craig. You know, you work on those kind of basic things early on, and you really just assume that your kids don't commit a silly foul at midcourt with 3 seconds to go in a tight ball game with a lot on the line. And Fox just did not have a smart play on that particular defensive stand.
Terry Fuller has the Indians to within 5. At halftime, it was a 4-point lead, and Newcastle could find themselves again with a 4-point lead if Fuller connects, and he misses. Haynes with 2 seconds. The shot, no good. A little bit short. It looked online, but it missed by about a foot or two. We've completed 3. 6-point Newcastle lead. Back in a moment on TV 40 and the LaCie Broadcasting Network.
Taste of the taste of the country. Lee's Country Chicken is ready for you. Green beans with him. Fresh salads too. Buttermilk biscuits and country fried steak. Try Crispy Plus. Tastes great. Come on in or drive right through. Country good cooking. Low prices too. There's only one place and it's gotta be Lee's famous recipe. Taste of the country.
You know, the Staten folks in Newcastle are more than just another Ford dealer. The Staten family has been in the car business for over 20 years. They have big city selection without big city pressure. Factory-trained service people, if you need them. Plus Ford's 6-year, 60,000-mile new car warranty. It's worth a drive to Newcastle. Thank you. Big city selection and no hassle.
Staten Ford Lincoln Mercury, State Road 3, Newcastle.
After 3, 60-55, Newcastle, who's coming in with that record of 12-5 overall, 3-2 here in the conference with that lead as we head to the fourth quarter.
Terry Fuller, in the last quarter, Craig, 13 big points, 26 on the night now, as Terry exploded for half his total game output in the third.
Out of bounds, it remains Anderson's ball.
Haynes, excellent defensive play. Craig, I'm just really impressed by the way Haynes has played tonight as King. Number 53, Troy King, spins on the inside and a nice move of his own. Big kid, Troy King is, and he really showed a lot of mobility there.
Only 5'11", but he is a hefty one. There's the jump shot off the rim. Rebound. Huckabee, no. Back up, good. Huckabee battling underneath.
when I saw Barry play earlier in the season against the Mount Vernon Marauders, he just played outstanding, Craig, and he's been a little tentative tonight.
Oh, nice jump shot. Vince Tatum back in the ball game. He buries one from long range. 62-59 the score. Some light backcourt pressure now as Guffey clears it across the center stripe. 6:50 remaining. Final period of action. Nice move. Haynes has it in and out. Huckabee again the rebound and a whistle charging.
I think that was Walls, Craig, number 41. And Craig, he has missed about 5 shots inside now, at least that I can remember. And just having a tough night. But I'll tell you something, that's not something that Chris Walls is going to do game in and game out. And if this Newcastle squad gets the kind of play out of Haynes, the kind of play from Haynes that they've gotten tonight, and Huckabee's more consistent, this can be an extremely tough team come tournament time.
Kelly misses, and there's Huckabee with a rebound. Steve Alford, as you just saw, here with us tonight. Not playing during the weekend with the All-Star break in the NBA. There's a shot, no good. Rebound, Huckabee takes it to the floor. Now outlets. Here comes Riggs, a nice shot.
Good play by Huckabee.
Shane Riggs with 2.
Nice play by Barry, and there's a critical mistake by number 25, Tyrone Kelly.
Norm Held.
The end line, and
Held will not like that.
No, Craig, that's one of those preseason mistakes that you get rid of in October, and don't expect a veteran player to make. TK just not thinking that time as the Newcastle reserve players lend support.
And the Trojan bench on their feet here in the 4th period. Team is up by 5 points. There's Haynes. Nice man-to-man coverage picked up by Terry Fuller. Haynes outlets to the left side with the ball. Riggs. Nice jump shot. Good. Riggs. Strapped on a dime and put it up for 2.
He's getting hot, Craig, and he's doing that against one of the better Anderson defenders, number 35, Troy Kingus. Terry Fuller puts up an air ball. The ball goes out of bounds. It's awarded to Newcastle. A 7-point advantage and the ball for Newcastle. We've got a timeout.
5:50 to go in the ball game. Newcastle now with that 7-point lead. And the timeout. Norm Held will get his players together. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, next week will see Newcastle at Kokomo to take on the Wildcats at Kokomo. Basil Mulby and company, and that should be a good one right here on TV 40, the game of the week. We'd like to thank a few people. Of course, the coach of Newcastle, Sam Alford, and also like to send our thanks out to Vance Meyer, the athletic director here at Newcastle. This is a beautiful facility and some real nice people, Jim.
Biggest high school field house in the world, Craig, and I don't know if you realize this, but 9 of the 10 largest high school facilities, high school gyms in the world are located right here in the state of Indiana. And this one is just a beauty. They don't come any better.
A beautiful facility. North Central Conference has a number of real large gymnasiums. Newcastle, the largest, just under 10,000. Anderson seats 8996.
Oh, we'll call that 9.
Ball is loose. Here comes Horton. And right now, Anderson has to concentrate on getting it together, playing within themselves, as it were. I don't like to overuse that phrase, but it's certainly applying here in the game.
Terry forced that one a little bit, but again, Craig, he's got the green light to shoot, and most of the time it's going to go in for the flashy senior as Newcastle works the ball around. There's number 6 for Chris Walls. Just can't find the bucket at all tonight.
There's a nice move inside by Kelly. Walls on that pass from Haynes missed, but Haynes really had the shot. Unselfish.
Ooh, dangerous pass there by Huckabee, but he's open here. We'll see if Riggs can find him. No, the defense gets back quickly.
Riggs misses. Rebound, though, to Huckabee inside.
Didn't miss that one.
For 2.
He got one, Greg.
Walls, a nice lead pass from Barry Huckabee. 6'6.5" to 6'6". These guys are working it well underneath. And here comes Haynes, batted away.
Here's Guffey. He's going to take it to the hole, Craig.
You could see that one coming. You knew he was going to get clobbered.
Now, Terry helped him up there. There's no animosity in that foul. Terry's playing hard and didn't intend that to be a dangerous situation there on that foul. Didn't want to give 2 points away freely. I think there's a big difference between headhunting and that kind of a foul there that Terry Fuller just exhibited.
Guffey to the line, and the shot is good on the first of two. And here's the replay of that drive to the hoop.
Now there you can see Terry Fuller. Actually not a bad play from the angle we just saw from our cameraman. He swung and obviously got a little bit of the hand of Darrell Guffey and was called for the foul, but not a bad play by Terry.
Guffey makes good on both of the free throws. It's a 9-point lead, a whistle. And Haynes, I believe, along the side will be called for the foul. There he is, putting in a real good game. Tim Haynes.
Guffey is
Norm Held.
Excuse me, Craig. Guffey has quietly amassed 21 points tonight, 17 for Haynes, who's been just so outstanding in his production, and that we didn't really expect it from him. I think Darrell Guffey, being the number 15 scorer on the all-time list here at Newcastle, as Kelly misses a critical front end there at 70-61, 4.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. But Haynes has really been an unexpected pleasure tonight.
Riggs with that ball. Again picked up by King. Goes baseline, shot good. Nice touch from about 10. Riggs with the 2 points. 72-61.
Boy, all of a sudden, Craig, an 11-point deficit faces the Anderson Indians. Terry Fuller is going to continue to shoot, and he's going to find the bottom of the net there.
Here comes Walls. They thought he may have walked. So Walls gets it out to Guffey.
I think everybody was surprised he didn't nail Huckabee inside, who has the ball now and scores inside.
Nice shot. Yes, indeed.
Huckabee was open coming down the wing that time, and I think people sensed the possibility for a big slamma-jamma on that sequence.
Kelly again feeding Fuller. Whistle in the lane. A foul, I think, will be called on Walls. Well, Fuller again finds himself in the lane, and that's exactly where Norm Held wants him positioned at this juncture. Down by 11 points, 3:39 to go in here in the game. Two teams with very similar records, as we mentioned. Anderson 13-4, while Newcastle comes in at 12-5. Neither team presently ranked, but you can expect both these teams to finish strong, possibly being ranked at the end.
Well, that missed free throw does not fare well for the Anderson Indians as we head into the final 3.5 minutes, Craig. And I'll tell you, number 35, Shane Riggs, has really done a job here in the fourth quarter for Newcastle, scoring half of his game's 12 points in the fourth.
Haynes moves on Kelly. Shot no good. Walls up, and he's fouled. Walls with a nice, strong move inside, and he will step to the line. Chris Walls, 8.7 average on the year. He's a senior. 6'6", 205 pounds. Those seniors at halftime were honored. Many of the senior cheerleaders and mascots honored between halves here at Newcastle, the great field house that seats almost 10,000.
Craig, I'll tell you, Walls, as he throws up the air ball there on the free throws, had a tough night in terms of points. And, you know, we've alluded to the fact that he's missed several shots inside. But I'll tell you, the kid has worked hard. He's amassed 15 rebounds. We still got 3:19 to go in the fourth quarter. So Chris has been productive, although you wouldn't be able to tell that from the scoring column.
No, you wouldn't. Fuller baseline. Tries to feed off to King. The ball stolen away. Guffey outlets to Walls. And here comes Haynes. They have the 3-on-2 break. Haynes to the glass. No. Foul on King.
I think Norm Held is going to have to get a timeout here quickly, Craig. It just the ebb and flow of this game in the last few minutes has got a distinct Newcastle flavor to it, and I really think that Sam Alford's crew senses the kill, and I think they're going to go for the jugular here. Norm needs to get his troops regrouped and prepared for this last 3 minutes. They're down 11 points, and they can ill afford to get any further behind.
And a few substitutions. Out goes Guffey. And back into the ball game for Newcastle is Josh Barber. So Guffey will take that much-deserved rest. And here comes the first free throw. It's up and good.
Well, the Newcastle guards have been outstanding tonight. And coming in, we were really looking for the front line to act as a catalyst for the Trojans. And their guard play has been just tremendous tonight, Craig.
Quickly, here come the Indians. Kelly, left wing, picked up by Barber. Fuller now top of the key. Drives on Haynes and throws up a circus shot, a whistle, and he'll step to the line to shoot a couple. So getting a little lazy on the D possibly, but nice movement inside by Anderson.
Well, up by 12 points with 2:49 to go. The Trojans obviously at this point have the control of the game. They don't want to lose control of the game. You've got to continue to play with intensity right to the end. Anderson can fast break and run and gun back into a ball game as quick as anybody in the state of Indiana. And I really think that had the Indians been more accurate from the free throw line, witness that miss by Kojak Fuller, the tale could be different, Craig. We're looking at potentially, I know I've seen at least 6 points now that Anderson has really thrown away by missing free throws.
Huckabee outlets to Haynes, and Haynes elects to slow it down a bit. 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the game. A 12-point lead, and the Newcastle fans begin to anticipate a victory here. Indians again in that man-for-man. Barber now threads the needle, outlets. And the four-corner offense. Walls inside, Huckabee loses, and back out he goes.
Well, like quick decisions that Huckabee makes are impressive, Craig. He's got much better ability than we've seen tonight. And I'm sure that Barry will prove that statement to be true as he's still got another year left after this. And Craig, could we possibly be seeing Norm Held's first loss at Newcastle Chrysler Fieldhouse in his Indiana coaching career? He's 7-0 coming into tonight.
There's a bump. Kojak called for the foul, and Barber will step to the line with 1:45 to go. 12-point lead. And it has been all Newcastle here in the second half. Well, after one period, it was Newcastle. Trojans up by 6 at halftime. The score 41-37, a close ball game at that point. Here in the second half, primarily in the fourth quarter, it's been all Trojans. Well, they got up and good.
The guard play, Craig, again, has been outstanding for Newcastle tonight. I think the front line players, Huckabee, Walls, Riggs, they've all had their moments. They've all had periods of the game where they played well, or they performed well in a particular facet of the game, especially Walls in the rebounding department. But the guards have been consistently good all night.
Shot misses everything. And the ball off the hands of Kojak, and it belongs to the Trojans. And here comes Guffey set to check back in. So Darryl Guffey will come back in. And out goes Walls. And he gets a good hand. Chris Walls leads.
Well, the fans appreciate the effort that Chris put into the game tonight. And he'll have better scoring nights than he had tonight, no doubt. But nonetheless, as we mentioned earlier, he really went to war on the boards and did a good job rebounding for Sam Alford tonight.
Down to 1:23. Traveling called. That's a bit unusual. Sam Alford, although he has a 13-point lead, a bit upset along the sideline.
Yeah, he's going to send Walls right back into the ball game. Sam's been in too many high school basketball games that have been won and lost in the last minute and 23 seconds, Craig, and he doesn't feel as safe as I'm sure some of these fans that are heading for the exits feel with a 13-point lead.
Kelly pulls up, in and out. Here comes Huckabee. Backcourt pressure, a foul, and that'll send Haynes to the line. Well, Haynes has had a real good ball game. He is deadly from three-point range. On the season, hitting 51% from three-point range. We've not seen him too much from outside here tonight, but he has been to the free throw line a few times, and he'll step there again right now with 1:10 to go. 76-63 to score.
With this victory tonight, and I'm assuming that in the final 110, Newcastle won't lose this game, Craig. Really, you can give the Kokomo Wildcats a share of the North Central Conference crown, as they are at 5-1 currently, in a position with only one more game, that being our game next week, our game of the week here on TV 40 against Newcastle. they can finish no worse than a tie for the MCC crown.
Haynes makes good on both free throw attempts. Here comes Perry, long range, three-pointer good. Now 12-point game, a minute to go.
You know, Anderson's got to rely now on a series of steals such as that.
There it is.
And baskets such as that by Tyrone Kelly. A couple of three-pointers, and maybe they can draw back within range.
Now 10 points, 45 seconds to go. Josh Barber, way out top. Now the ball in the hands of Haynes with 30 seconds to go. And that time it was Fuller trying to commit the foul, didn't get it.
He'll foul here, I'm sure.
And Haynes.
They've got to foul. There's no other option.
Boy, it looked like Haynes was fouled, but a timeout is called.
It's too late. 22 seconds to go, Craig. I think that this one's history, and good show tonight by the Newcastle Trojans and their coach, Sam Alford.
Timeout with 22 seconds to go, as you can see. 10-point lead to Newcastle. And Newcastle will have a few guys returning next year, Jim, with 7 seniors on that roster, 5 juniors. And we can look for another strong team next year.
Well, I think really, Craig, this was Newcastle's big year. I think this is the one that Sam Alford felt could be his blockbuster year. And obviously with 5 veterans returning from a year ago and a preseason number 4 ranking in the state of Indiana, the Newcastle Trojans really felt and still do feel that this is a team that can go a long way in the state tournament. Now keep in mind that the Newcastle regional area feeds into the Indianapolis semi-state, so we could have a possible hookup with maybe Lawrence North and Eric Montross versus these Newcastle Trojans down the road. But they've really got a tough regional. I think the sectional is probably a little weaker than in some years, and Newcastle will be heavily favored there, Craig. But they could run into a number of tough schools: Muncie Central, Yorktown, Muncie South, and the Mount Vernon Marauders, who could prove to be stiff competition at the regional level for Sam Alford.
Boy, we got practically a brand new team in there. I think replacement at every position. Sam Alford getting the reserves in, and that's real nice to see. With 5 seconds now left to go, with the ball is Sadler inside. The shot no good. The rebound no good. At the whistle, shot not allowed. Agee with the attempt. 78-68 the final. Agee missing right after the buzzer. And that is the ball game. A 10-point win to the Trojans tonight, and their record now improves to 13-5 and 4-2 in the conference. We'll be back with our post-game show in a moment on TV 40 and the LaCie Broadcasting Network.